The Threx Dominion had conquered 37 worlds. Their fleets cut across the galaxy like a tide of fire, their soldiers landing with precision strikes that left defenders broken within hours. Now, they had chosen their next target, Earth. Admiral Croth of the Threx stood aboard the flagship Blade of Ascendancy, staring at the blue-green orb suspended in the void. Its defenses were laughably primitive, no orbital weapon arrays, no fleet patrols, not even basic planetary shielding. "This will be effortless," Croth hissed to his second-in-command. The invasion plan was simple. Drop pods from high orbit, soldiers landing in major cities, infrastructure neutralized within a day. Standard procedure. The fleet began its descent. The first problem occurred seconds after atmospheric entry. Threx drop pods were designed for worlds with 0.8 to 1.1 g of gravitational pull, the average range across most habitable planets. Earth's pull was officially listed in the archives as 1 g. Easy. Except it wasn't. Inside the first wave of pods, soldiers felt an unexpected heaviness. Their limbs resisted movement, armor pressing down like it had doubled in mass. Muscles strained against the load. "What is this?" growled Sergeant Vroll, his claws fumbling at the harness release. "Feels like 2 gravities." In reality, it was just Earth's 1 g, but for the Threx, whose homeworld sat at a light 0.87 g, it was like trying to move underwater while carrying a boulder. The pods slammed into city streets and open fields with bone-crunching force. Half of them didn't open. Captain Elena Reyes of the Mexican Defense Forces was among the first humans to approach a landing site outside Mexico City. She expected heavily armed alien troopers pouring out in disciplined formation. Instead, she found chaos. Threx soldiers staggered from their pods, gasping through respirators, their knees buckling under the weight of their own gear. A few had collapsed entirely, unable to rise. Reyes watched one try to lift his plasma rifle, only for it to slip from his claws and crash to the pavement. She didn't hesitate. Fuego! Gunfire erupted, and the already struggling Threx fell like dominoes. Back in orbit, Admiral Croth snarled at the casualty reports. "Increase reinforcement waves. Push through the resistance." The second wave hit harder, but not in the way the Threx intended. Their exosuits, designed for agility, became rigid cages under the extra strain. In New York, soldiers tried to charge, and managed little more than a slow jog. Civilians outran them. In Nairobi, a squad attempted to scale a short wall and ended up sprawled in a heap, armor servos whining. In Sydney, one unfortunate invader tripped and couldn't get back up without 2 others helping him. The gravity wasn't killing them outright. It was simply turning them into easy targets. The true disaster came when the Threx attempted to deploy their walker mechs. On most worlds, the towering machines were unstoppable siege weapons, their long legs striding over terrain while heavy cannons rained death below. On Earth, each step drove their limbs deeper into the soil, servos overheating under the unfamiliar weight. One in Berlin collapsed entirely when a knee joint snapped. Another in Tokyo tipped over like a drunken skyscraper, crushing 2 of its own pods. The footage went viral within minutes. Admiral Croth convened an emergency council. "This is not possible," one of his officers hissed. "Our data lists Earth as 1 standard gravity." "It is 1 standard," Croth growled. "But our soldiers are accustomed to less. We trained for worlds lighter than this. Our bodies were not ready." It was a humiliating truth. The Threx were apex predators on their own world. Swift, agile, deadly. But here, they were like heavily armed children trying to run through molasses. Meanwhile, the humans, forged in this gravity since birth, moved with practiced ease. On the ground, humanity quickly adapted its defense. Soldiers realized that even without advanced weapons, the aliens were slow enough to be outrun, surrounded, and overwhelmed. In Chicago, firefighters dragged trapped Threx soldiers into paddy wagons like unruly drunks. In rural India, farmers on motorbikes herded retreating invaders toward military checkpoints. In Brazil, capoeira practitioners filmed themselves gracefully dodging sluggish alien strikes before delivering humiliating takedowns. What the Threx had intended as a swift conquest was rapidly becoming a galaxy-wide embarrassment. 3 days into the invasion, the Dominion fleet attempted a full retreat. Gravity had defeated them more thoroughly than any weapon. Admiral Croth issued the withdrawal order through gritted teeth. Mark Earth as unsuitable for occupation. The entry in the Threx star charts would later be updated with a rare notation. Earth gravity trap. Avoid. Months later, in a secret military archive in Colorado, General Reyes reviewed the captured alien tech. They had the numbers. They had the weapons, she said to her staff. But they never had the weight. Her second-in-command chuckled. Guess sometimes the best defense is just being heavier than the other guy can handle. In the quiet of space, the Threx told no stories of Earth's gravity. But humans remembered and laughed. For the first time in recorded history, a planetary invasion had been stopped by physics alone.